Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Texoma Cattleman here on 95.7 FM, 1420 AM, The Warrior, sponsored by Fan and Ag Products. We appreciate their sponsorship and allowing us to be able to do this program each week and to come to you here on the radio station. They're located at 2320 North Center Street here in Bonham as you cross under 82. The first place there on the right with the big overhead feed bin right there on Highway 78. That'll be them. We appreciate their sponsorship and allowing us to do this program. Appreciate you, the listener, too, for tuning in each week. And you know on this program that we talk cattle management and pasture and hay management on this program, and we're going to do just that again this week here for you. But before we do, I would like to let all of our listeners know that next Friday on September the 20th, we're going to be having our Fannin County Hay Show and program that'll take place at our extension office at 2505 North Center Street here in Bonham. And we're going to have Dr. Vanessa Olson, our forage specialist, and Dr. Jason Banner, our beef cattle specialist, there to talk to you. At that program, it'll take place from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll offer 2 CEUs for pesticide applicators and also have a catered chicken fried steak lunch. You don't want to miss out on that. It'll be catered by Panther Row Eatery. Cost to attend is $25, and again, that includes your plate lunch and also gets you 2 CEUs for your pesticide applicator license. If you'd like to attend, give us a call at 903-583-7453, or you can look us up on Facebook at Texas A&M AgriLife Extension Fannin County. If you'll go on there, scroll down through the feed and find Fannin County Hay Show and Program, it'll be an event listed on there. You can click on that event, and then it'll have a little bar that'll say get tickets. Click on that. You can get your tickets right there on Facebook for that online and be able to pay with a credit card. So if you have any questions on that, let us know. My name is Cody Maxwell. I'm the Agriculture Extension Agent for Texas A&M AgriLife Extension here in Fannin County, and we're happy to be with you this week. We're going to continue on with the series that we started last week. I said it'd be a 2-week series, and we're gonna end it up today and do just that. But it's a series that we began on considerations when purchasing replacement cattle, and specifically our female end of things. This time of the year, we mentioned last week, this time of the year we think about purchasing those replacement females as we get into a time in which we're hopefully pregnancy testing those cow herds as we come into our time of the year when we're fixing to get ready to start weaning these calves. It's convenient for us when we have that whole cow herd up to go ahead and line up to have our cattle pregnancy tested on that same day if we're able to. We highly recommend that you do. And consider on those open cows, if they are open, consider moving those cows on down the line, because there is a cow cost, annual cow cost that we talked about last week, that's associated with each cow out there. And if they're not, they're an employee of your operation. And if they're not working for you, then they need to move on down the road. So sometimes that doesn't always work out, and it's not always the case depending on your circumstance. But we do recommend that you pregnancy test those open cows that you may end up having. Hopefully you don't have any, but if you do, that you know about it and you're allowed to make a management decision on that. So when we think of culling those cows that may have a little age to them, might be a little too old, or that might be open, or that may not just fit what we like to see in our cows as far as uniformity, or they might be a problem cow per se. There's several different parameters that we can set when culling a cow, but as we set those parameters, as we consider our culling options that we may have, we also have to think about the replacement options with that, and that's what got us into our discussion. So last week we started with our different breeds of cattle, and we're kind of going through that, talking about the different breeds. We talked about mainly our English and our exotic breeds last week. This week we're going to get into some of our American influence breeds, and then we're going to follow out with the different options that you have as far as the ages of the cattle. So we're going to start off this week talking about our Brangus cattle. One thing about the Brangus, they have excellent mothering abilities. And those of you that run some Brangus cattle or the cattle that might have a little ear on them, it doesn't matter if we're talking about Brangus, Red Angus, Beefmaster. We're going to talk about the Tiger Stripes, the F1 Tiger Stripes here in just a little bit. It doesn't matter what type of American influence breed of cow that we're talking about. The first thing that we think about whenever thinking of them is their mothering abilities that they do have. Opportunities to be heavier milkers. We consider them to be on the Brangus moderately easy calving. We should expect our calves to be slightly bigger than some of these English influenced breeds, but maybe not as big as some of the exotic breeds that we may have. They are slower maturing. That's something that you're going to see pop up with any of our American influenced breeds. When we talk about maturing in the cow herd, we're talking about sexual maturity, the ability to breed, the opportunity to be bred. That's what we're talking about when we're talking about the maturity of these replacement animals, not only on the cow end, but also on the bull end. The opportunity that they have, the capabilities to be able to breed a cow the age of coming to. So on our American influenced cattle, usually about 15 to 18 months of age is when we can expect them to be fully sexually mature, to be able to actually go in there and conceive and have a calf. And so about 15 to 18 months. Our English influence breeds are going to be a little bit younger than that. Not necessarily meaning that we need to go ahead and breed them, but in a commercial cow-calf operation, we would like to have that cow having a calf somewhere around that 24-month-old time frame. And so in doing so, those English breeds, we're usually able to consider breeding options around that 13, 14 months of age for them to be able to have a calf there around 24 months. Again, not saying that we need to breed one at 13 months, but that's when those English breeds are going to start reaching their sexual maturity. So we probably want to consider waiting a month or so to kind of let them get cycling. But anyways, our American influence cattle are going to be a little bit slower maturing. We also think of that in terms of our feedlot. Whenever these cattle get on feed, the American cattle are going to tend to be bigger animals, larger framed animals. Therefore, it's going to take they've got to grow taller. And then they're going to start depositing that fat. Whereas we talked about last week, those English influence cattle are going to deposit fat a little bit quicker, and they're also known American influence cattle or growthier type animals. Moving right along to our F1 Tiger Stripe cattle. These are going to be a cross between a Brahman and a Hereford. Very, very popular. In the South Texas area, you get down to the College Station and even further south area, you're going to see a ton of F1 Tiger Stripes out there. Here in our area, Fannin County, you don't see them as much. If somebody can get their hands on them and make a cow herd out of them, they're going to want to do that, but we don't see a whole lot of them right here just in Fannin County. You might see one or here mixed into a herd. Now you cross the Lamar County line and get into Lamar County, Red River County, and start heading into eastern Texas, you're going to see a lot more of these F1 Tiger Stripes. They're known for their mothering ability. Excellent mothers. They raise excellent calves. A lot of people are going to cross back Angus or Charolais bulls back on these cows, and they will wean you off a heavy calf. They're heavy milkers. You think of the areas that they're located in, deep East Texas, East Texas, South Texas. Well, those tend to be hotter, more humid type climates, so they're known for their heat tolerance, and they are hardy animals. Jumping in now, talk about our Simmental. I should have had this one lumped back up last week with our Charolais, but Simmentals, They're growthy type animals. Those of us that remember Semitoles from back in the 80s and 90s, you think of them as being kind of the red and white, yellow and white, spotted type cattle. Well, now when you look up Semitoles, most of them are going to be either black or red. So that's what you're going to see for the most part now. Just like the Charolais, they'll add growth into those calves for you, and so something to consider. Another thing about Semitole, the docility, very docile type animals. Moving right along, our Limousine, again known for their growth, the large frame, higher yielding type animals because of the amount of muscling that they do have, something that they're definitely known for, but do not deposit fat as much as some of our English influenced breed. Brahma, that's how we get our eared cattle. That's our American influence. So you heard us talk about the F1 Tiger Stripes, the Brangus, Beefmasters, one that we're not going to talk about today, but another one to consider. Our Santa Gertrudis cattle. All of those come from the Brahman breed. They have that American influence in them. They're known for their mothering ability. You can add the hybrid vigor with this breed and crossing them over. Slower maturing animals, we talked about that, but definitely known for their heat tolerance. All right, so getting into the ages and the classes of cattle. So ages of cattle, whenever we're purchasing replacement females, we have the option of weaned heifers, yearling open heifers, bred heifers, 2-year-old heifers, 3 and 6-year-old cows, and 7+ cows. The classes of cattle is either going to be your open heifers, your bred heifers, your pairs, and your 3-in-1 pairs. So we're going to talk about all those different types and start off talking with weaned heifers. With buying a weaned heifer, that's going to be your cheapest option that you have available, but comes with what we call some risk. You're going to be able to slip in there and buy you a pretty good weaned heifer right now for somewhere around the 700 to 750 mark. You are going to have that cow cost, and it's going to be significantly higher on a heifer in the development phase than it will be a mature cow. So you're going to be looking at roughly around $350 a year to develop these heifers, maybe a little bit higher, maybe even up in the 400 mark. So that's going to put your cost of this heifer to get her to the point to where she weans a calf is going to be about $1,500 is what it's going to cost to get her there. Yearling heifers, they're going to be just a little bit more expensive, but the same thing is you're going to have that cow cost to get them to the point of weaning a calf. Advantage on weaned heifers and yearling heifers, retaining your own heifers. The advantage that you have is you do know those traits that are going to be heritable from their parentage, from the cows that you have out there in the pasture and the bulls that you've been using. Moving into our 2-year-old pairs, our 2-year-old 3-in-1 pairs that we may have. 3-in-1 is going to be a cow that's got a calf at her side and bred back. Usually the time of the year for us, with us being predominantly a spring calving county, about the only time of the year you're going to have the opportunity to buy those 3-in-1s is going to be about the June, July time frame. And they're going to be your most expensive because they are bred back. 2-year-old pairs, 2-year-old bred heifers, common 2-year-old bred heifers. We think of the cost on them right now. A bred heifer that's going to be somewhere around 4 to 6 months bred right now in this time frame, probably going to run you about $1,250 to $1,500. So you think back to that retained heifer that you may have, you can go ahead and buy that bred heifer right now, and that's what it's going to take you to get that heifer that you raise to wean in a calf. Same options you have there in the 3 to 6-year-old cows. This is probably your best option if you're buying replacements. However, if you go and try to pry a 3 to 6-year-old cow away from a producer, it's probably not going to happen because she's out there working for him in his operation. Then you have the option of some older cows, some 7-year-old plus cows, whether they're breds, pairs, 3-in-1s. These may be your cheaper option just because they're getting a little bit of age on them and life expectancy's not going to be near as long as that 2 or 3-year-old or bred heifer. Hope you've enjoyed this series that we've done. That's going to wrap it up for our program today. We are out of time. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call at 903 583-7453. We'll be coming to you soon with Ag 30 here on 95.7.